Welcome back. In the previous video, we looked at the problem and the final system we're going to build. Now, let me show you how to build this from absolute scratch. I'm starting here inside Gmail. To open a new sheet, click this Google Apps icon in the top right, the little grids of dots, and then open Google Sheets. This opens the sheet homepage in a new tab. Let's click blank spreadsheet to create the first file. I'll name this one auto-organize read emails. Now we're ready to write some code. Go to extensions, app script, and then it will open the scripting editor in a new tab. So this is Google Apps Script environment. Let me walk you through some parts you'll use. On the left, we have files. This is where our GS file live. In the center is the editor, where all our code goes. Below that, we have triggers, which run scripts automatically on a schedule. We have also services and deployments, but we won't need those today. It's simple and very beginner friendly. Just a quick tip. This editor is where all the logic lives. Think of this as a brain of your automation, while your Google Sheet is the control panel. First, let's rename this project. I'll call it my project, but you can name it whatever you want. And over here on the left, this file called code.js. I'm going to rename it to organizeEmails. Now, I'll also remove the default code that's already inside here because we're going to build everything from scratch. All right, let's jump into the code and we'll start with the configuration section. Before we write any functions, we set up a configuration object. I'll call it config. This holds all the important settings for a script, so we don't have to hard code values everywhere. Here's what we include in that object. Sheet name, that's the name of the sheet we'll use, which is organizeEmail. And the start row, it's 2. Status cell, it's E2 value. In the last run cell, that's F2 value. And the trigger func, that's the name of the main function for our automation trigger will run. And I'll name it auto organize read emails. Start row, that's row 2 because row 1 is the headers, if you can take a look at that one in the sheet. And the status cell that shows whether automation is on and off. And the last run cell where we show the last run timestamp. So by keeping all these in one object, it's easy to change later if you want to rename the sheet or adjust settings. Okay, with that in place, all our functions can refer to config instead of repeating the same values everywhere. And it keeps things clean and maintainable. Next, before anything else, we need to make sure our sheet exists. So I'm creating this helper function. We're defining an error function called getOrgSheet. Its job is to make sure our data sheet exists and it's ready to use. First, we try to grab the sheet by its name, which is stored in our config object. If the sheet already exists, it gets assigned to this variable sheet. This if statement checks if the sheet doesn't exist. If it is missing, the code inside these curly braces will run to set it up. Since it wasn't found, we use insert sheet to create a brand new tab with our specific name. Here, we define our table headers as two-dimensional array. This represents the first row of our spreadsheet. We select the first row to inject those headers name and immediately make them bold so they stand out. And to keep things readable, we're manually widening the second column to 300 pixels since email addresses can be quite long. We log a quick confirmation message to the AppScript console so we know the setup happened successfully. And finally, whether we just created a sheet or it was already there, we return the sheet object so other functions can write data to it. As you can see, the sheet is currently empty. We'll do a quick code review to ensure everything is correct. And looks good to me. Then after that, hit save and run. Now, the first time you click run, Google will ask for permission. And here's how to go through those menus. Click review permission on the first pop-up, and then you need to select your Google account. And you will see a warning saying like Google hasn't verified this app since you wrote this code, so it's perfectly fine. So just click advance. At the bottom, click the link that says go to your project name and save. Then review the access being requested and click continue. Once you click continue, your code is executed immediately. And if you look at the bottom of the editor, you can see the confirmation in the console showing that the new sheet was successfully created. Now, switch back to your spreadsheet and you'll see the new tab created in its name, organizeGmail. And all the headers, like the label name, the senders, total threads, status, and timestamp, all perfectly formatted and bolded. That's basically it. You successfully created and configure your sheet using Google Apps Script. In the next video, we're going to connect this script to Gmail and start pulling in your labels automatically. This is where things start getting really powerful.